till airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the Oregon Studio Hotline at 336-831-0864. Stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Duck's gonna pick it up, and here we go. Got him deep. He's open. He's got it, and he's gone. How about that? Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
Omarui for three. Yes! Oh, and a steal and slam for Williams. Duarte to the basket. The slam. For the third time in the last 5 years, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions. Outright champs.
Foley three. Goal! Volleyball. Left wing. Pow. Yeah, boom, boom. Regular season champions, and now Pac-12 tournament champions.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
We have an Oregon football schedule. The Ducks and the rest of the Pac-12 getting their schedules this morning. So that means it's time to break it all down, and we can spend from now until opening kickoff in a few months breaking everything down, getting your predictions in, and also getting your tickets in. That's right. Season tickets start at $376 for all 7 games. There is now a buy tickets button on the football ticketing page that you can find at goducks.com/FBTix. That's FBTIX. And fans, you can also utilize a couple different tools, one of which is an awesome 3D map, and you can actually see how your seat would look with that brand new scoreboard. It's pretty outstanding. It's pretty sweet. That schedule, though, is as follows. Oregon football will open against Fresno State on September 4th, then travel to Ohio State on September 11th, and then back at home against Stony Brook on September 18th. Now, the Pac-12 portion that was announced today. Arizona on September 25th at home, Stanford October 2nd away, and then a bye week on October 9th before the Ducks will face Cal at home on a Friday, October 15th. Then we'll travel to UCLA October 23rd, home against Colorado October 30th, Washington away on November 6th, Washington State at home on November 13th, and Utah on the road on November 20th before finishing up with Oregon State on November 27th. What I love about that is it's a lot of back and forth, home and away for Oregon football this year. And with that, now we welcome in Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, kind enough to join us today. I did not know that the Pac-12 schedule was going to be released today when we scheduled this interview about a month ago. So I'd love to take credit for just a happy accident, but I can't. Rob, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Good to see you, Joey. I did not have any look into the future on that a month ago either.
So here we are, a Pac-12 schedule to talk about. Rob, just seeing that come out, though, how much excitement does that bring to you?
Well, obviously, we're hoping that we're moving back towards normal. We're getting some vaccine in arms, and that it is something to look forward to, I guess. So there's a lot that has to be figured out before now and then, and hopefully we can get to the point where we can play a full schedule and even have fans in the stands.
The season tickets, of course, out on sale. We've been talking about it, goducks.com/FBTIX. That is the hope, is that we're all able to get back to that point, because fans, we sure missed you. It just wasn't the same last year, was it, Rob?
No, it wasn't the same. I mean, obviously, one of the great things about college athletics is a chance to bring the community together, and there's this incredible spirit and camaraderie, whether it's at Autzen Stadium or Pape Field or PK Park or Matthew Knight Arena or Hayward Field. And, one of the things that our student athletes really, really love about being a member of the University of Oregon family is a chance to be in those venues and around our incredibly supportive fans.
How difficult has it been to project ahead and plan ahead with so many unknowns? We've talked about it throughout the course of this year, but now with another football season on the horizon, how have you gone about doing that? How do you go about projecting ahead?
Yeah, it's just remain flexible and adaptable. We just pivot with the latest information that we have, do the best planning that we possibly can. Again, I think we've mentioned on here several times, we have an outstanding leadership at the university, the incident management team on our own campus, wonderful communication with Lane County Public Health, occasional conversation with the Oregon Health Authority. So, that's all we can do. We have a team of professionals in our own department here who have worked long and hard hours of really just doing everything that we can to provide a healthy and safe environment and prepare for whatever comes next.
Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line. The quality of a recruiting class always builds a lot of optimism. We haven't had you on since that recruiting class was finished up as the best in program history. That's got to feel pretty good.
Feels great. Obviously, it feels great to do it in 1 year, but when you start to stack it 2-3 years in a row, and then you see the quality of young people that are part of that class, obviously that gets everybody excited, and we have a lot to look forward to.
I'm excited just to be able to tell you more about those guys as we head into a spring season and then into fall camp again, and hoping that we're able to get back to a little semblance of normalcy. So that's football. Now, Rob, let's turn our attention to the thick of things right now for basketball season. Big games down the stretch. Men's basketball with a huge win last night. I mean, if I told you 11 years ago that Oregon men's basketball would beat Arizona 11 straight times, I think you would have been like, sign me up, right?
Well, absolutely. I would have been sign me up. I knew Dana Altman was a great coach. And, obviously over those 11 years, he's built an incredible program. But when you think about, really the dominant team in our league in that period, it has been Arizona. And to think of the level of success that we've been able to have across the entire program and against the elite teams is something that's very special, and a great credit to Dana and his leadership.
UCLA tomorrow, sort of a big game as the Ducks control their own destiny down the stretch. The Ducks have won 3 of the last 5 Pac-12 championships, could be 4 of 6 this year if Oregon can get a couple wins here down the stretch, Rob. I mean, it's just another tremendous season for Coach Altman.
No, a real tremendous season. And again, you talk about a sport that's had it difficult and had to remain flexible and adaptable, from a start time to an adjusted schedule to multiple pauses to lineups without a full roster. They just kept adapting and adjusting. And here we are. It's March, and in typical Dana fashion, our team is playing at its best, and we've got a good rotation. The senior leadership is stepping up. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? That's how you win 3 out of 5 Pac-12 championships.
Lining up that Rubik's Cube. As someone who has been on various postseason selection committees, this has got to be the most difficult year ever for anybody sitting in those chairs, right?
It does. And I have great respect for that committee. It's full of wonderful professionals who care deeply about the sport, high integrity. So, they will be able to play the hand that's dealt them, but it is an extremely, extremely difficult set of circumstances. But, again, I'm confident that with the people leading the charge on that committee, that they'll find their way through it the right way.
Generally, forgive me if I'm mistaken on this, but generally the Pac-12 tournament in Las Vegas is usually when you and a lot of your colleagues can get together and have a lot of kind of larger conversations, right? When everybody's all in the same place. That might look a little bit different this year, right?
Yeah, it'll look a lot different, or it'd be non-existent, because if we do any meetings, it'll be virtually because of the way the protocols are set up. But you're right. In a typical year, several groups, including athletic directors, would meet. We'd honor Hall of Fame inductees into the Pac-12. So, it is a time to gather, to do a lot of business, to have a basketball tournament, and to celebrate. Unfortunately, this year, it's really going to be strictly a basketball tournament, and a restricted basketball tournament. That's going to be a different experience. If you're part of our 34-member Tier 1 traveling group, you're basically going to go to your room, to a practice court, or to games. All your meals are going to be to go. You're going to have no interaction with anyone outside of your Tier 1 group other than in a basketball game. So it'll be quite a bit different for our student athletes, but at least we are getting to have a tournament.
I think that the phrase business trip has taken on a whole new meaning in the last, year or so with all of this going on. Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens joining us. Our Athletic Director Tuesday interview is brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Women's basketball heading toward the postseason too now, Rob. Celebrated a couple great seniors. Another example of something that it was different to celebrate Lydia Giomi and Aaron Boley the way that the Ducks did. But, man, women's basketball, they've taken their lumps, but still a pretty impressive season so far.
No, impressive season. Obviously, a very young team. But as you said, two outstanding seniors. What Aaron Boley and Lydia Giomi have meant to our program, not only on the court, obviously they're great players, but they are even better human beings in the way that they've contributed in the leadership to women's basketball, to our athletic program. Lydia's been a leader for us. We've selected her to help be our representative on the Pac-12 student athlete leadership team. She's done a phenomenal job. She is going to be an outstanding teacher. Yes, senior day was a lot different. Unfortunately, public health protocols would not allow us to have families at the game. So I felt really bad for those two young women for all that they've given to our program to not be able to have their parents there on that senior day. But again, understanding that the priority is health and safety. We are going to miss Aaron and Lydia for sure.
Volleyball has a 7-match conference winning streak, which is the best in program history. And I just want to say, to put in perspective, there have been some really, really good Oregon volleyball teams, particularly in the last 10, 12, 15 years or so. So to have this be a program record of 7 straight that they've won in conference, that's an amazing accomplishment for this squad. Now, they didn't have to go to Utah, but still an amazing accomplishment.
It is an amazing accomplishment because, as you've said, just in the last 10 years, we've had a team appear in the NCAA championship match, and we've had another team make the Elite Eight. So there have been plenty of good teams, plenty of great players, but this team is fun to watch. They seem to get better and better with every match. So it's going to be fun to see them down the stretch. Really proud of what Coach Ulmer and that team have done so far.
We've got Coach Lombardi coming up on the show talking Oregon softball in just a little bit. And also we're going to hear from Dane Altman. I should have said that earlier after the big win, and now they're getting ready for a quick turnaround against UCLA. We got all that for you coming up. Softball, though, playing well early on. The Ducks are off to a 9-1 start. The only loss was to the then #1 team in the country, and felt like they probably could have won that game too.
No, they're off to a great start, and they were off to a great start last year before everything got halted. Missy's doing a phenomenal job. I just saw today, I think we went from number 8 in the polls up to number 6 after beating #1 UCLA. So, that team, really, really off to a phenomenal start. It's going to be fun to see how they continue to grow because it's still a really young team when you look at that roster.
Yeah, they were 22-2 last year when everything halted, and 9-1 so far. Pretty good squad. They're back at Jane Sanders Stadium, by the way, for the first time on Friday. That'll be a 2:30 first pitch. The Ducks will play 2 coming up on Friday. We'll tell you more about that in a bit. Okay,
I'd take one in 31 of my last 34.
Yeah, not bad, right? Not bad.
Not bad.
I think most programs in any sport would be like, sign me up for that. A couple more things. I want to go rapid fire with Oregon Athletic Director Rob Mullens because, Rob, I know you've got tons going on. I appreciate you taking the time. For the first time in program history, Oregon soccer is in the top 20. That coming out today with the victory over Stanford. I know that Graham Abel would say, well, we need to take care of business and get it done against Cal. But, man, taking down the defending national champs, so that's just a big step in the right direction for Coach Abel's squad.
Well, no doubt, for what Graham and those student athletes and his staff have done in a very, very short period of time. Can you imagine being a new head coach at a program and arriving in a pandemic? And not being able to have your family here in the community, trying to find your way at a new workplace, build relationships within a program, not with your staff, with your student athletes, trying to recruit from a virtual environment. When you really look at what's been stacked against Graham, and not once has he complained, he's only been about solutions. He has really adhered to just, help us eliminate the obstacles. And his positive outlook, his set of experiences, his approach, his connection with the modern student athlete, is producing incredible results. And when you dig deep, and I would encourage those who haven't to go to the GoDucks.com and read the story about the school's first ever win in women's soccer over Stanford. When you start peeling back the layers of that 23 years, Stanford hadn't lost a Pac-12 game since 2016. I mean, yes, it's another first ever in Oregon athletics history, but there's a lot of other layers to that, and something I'm really, really proud of for Graham and the student athletes, because what they've been able to do with the set of circumstances that they've been dealt is really remarkable.
Know another cool connection that we've talked about it, that if you missed it, you need to check it out. Leah Freeman's dad went to Stanford. She was the one who was in goal for Oregon, just doing great things, playing great defense. And, she said right after the match, like, this is what it's all about, like this is the good stuff. And every time I hear stories like that, Rob, we've talked about a few of them as you've come on the show here, that's why this is all worth it in the end. That's when all the hard work truly feels like it pays off. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've had a lot of first evers, and those are fun. And what's really fun is to see these student athletes particularly in that sport, who've embraced a new coach, who've embraced the change, who've figured out a way to do it in a really challenging environment, but really just kept marching forward and really building a culture, supporting one another, and just starting to believe. And then, when you can start to put all that together, the process was all right. And then they got some results that just validated the process. It's fun to see, and really, really proud of the student athletes and their commitment, and Graham and his leadership.
You talk about valuing the process, believing in the process. I think track and field has certainly been the example of that lately, setting a bunch of records, one in the DMR. Talk about first, too, Rob. I mean, a collection of records in the DMR, the mile, records all over the place, as very quickly indoor nationals are coming up, along with cross-country competing at the same time. That's an unprecedented challenge for that group.
No, it is. And, what Robert and his staff have been able to do is really remarkable, because when you look at, what they're trying to juggle 2 seasons in one, trying to travel, with large groups, in kind of a disjointed way, just to ramp up for an indoor championship and to have us peaking at the right time. Again, another great job by Robert.
I really love the fact that there's so much success going on that I can just sit here and rattle off a couple sports, and suddenly we've already talked 10 minutes with the athletic director. I guess a tip of the cap to everybody on that one then, huh, Rob?
Yeah, no. And again, I think it just, we have made it clear from day one that, our highest priority is always going to be about student athlete experience. And that we're going to make a commitment to broad-based excellence. And we want to give everybody a chance to be their best self. Certainly academically, socially, but then athletically. We don't shy away from wanting to compete for championships. And when you do things the right way for the right reasons, and you make a full commitment and you stay consistent, these fun things start to happen.
Lastly, I didn't think I was going to ask you about this, but it just occurred to me that we've been doing a facility feature, looking at the facilities, the folks that work in the various facilities across Oregon athletics every Tuesday. Today, featuring the JQA. Just a couple thoughts on the JQA, and especially in these crazy times where the facilities have obviously had to adapt, and it's usually the people in the facilities that make them work to their fullest potential. The JQA Center is a pretty unique thing that Oregon athletes have.
Very unique. And, obviously, as we've talked about, we're fortunate to have a team of individuals who do have a high care factor for our student athletes in a lot of areas. When you look at what our medical team, our trainers have done, have gone above and beyond, working around the clock to support our student athletes and set up protocols and help execute them. When you look at what our facilities and operations staff have done, trying to play 17 sports in essentially one season, what was once thought impossible. And then you look at what the JQA staff is doing. That facility, when it was built, was way ahead of its time. And here we are, 10, 11 years later, and it's still way ahead of its time. But as you said, it's the people in the building. And Steve Stolp and his team, who have selected a career of just being selfless in their support of student athletes, of really helping these young people enjoy their 4 years here, help them self-discover what may be interesting to them to life outside of sports, and really just being for them our student athletes have a deep connection with their academic advisors and all the academic support that they receive, because that's a great outlet for them. It's another connection at the University of Oregon that's part of that holistic support team. And we're fortunate to have that whole team of professionals who work over there.
Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, thanks for going rapid fire with us. I hope we didn't miss anything.
I don't think we did. It's a busy week coming up, but I appreciate everybody's support. We'll keep plowing along, and everybody stay safe, mask up, and again, we'll get to the other side of this together.
Here's to a more normal fall and football season. That's what we can all hope for. Rob Mullens, Oregon Athletic Director, thank you for the time, sir. I always appreciate it.
Thanks, Joey. Go Ducks.
We're going to get a quick timeout on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. That was Athletic Director Rob Mullens, brought to you by Pepsi and locally owned Bigfoot Beverages. Go Ducks, drink Pepsi. It really is the easiest interview when there's so much going on. And I don't know, everybody, there's a lot of good things to ask him about. When we come back, going to talk about one of those good things with Dana Altman, head coach for the Ducks, as Oregon is on the hunt for another Pac-12 title on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to really volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor charge characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the Dew.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield IMG College.
Whoa.
The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We are back on Doug Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Dave asking, do you think there will be fans allowed at Hayward this year? You know, I have been asking the same questions. I think everybody's been asking the same questions. I wish I had an answer. I don't. I could sit here and guess, but yeah, what do I know? I don't know. I don't know, Dave, in all seriousness. I don't mean to downplay that question. I really don't know. And I see the results from Dave. It was nice to hear the color announcer recognize how good Chris Duarte is. Man, no doubt about that. Chris Duarte is an All-American. Like, seriously, okay, so this is a tremendous statistic. As we talk a little Oregon men's basketball for you, ESPN had a crazy statistic showing how good Chris Duarte has been this year. Major conference players to average 17 points per game, shoot 50% from the floor, and record 2 steals per game in the last 15 years. The list for you: Zion Williamson, James Harden, and Chris Duarte. That's elite company. 17 points per game, 50% shooting, 2 steals per game. Mick Cronin, head coach for UCLA, who the Ducks are going to play tomorrow at 6 o'clock on ESPN2, 5:30 pregame here on the Oregon Sports Network, called him the best defensive guard in the country. Wow. And you know what? That's not just high praise talking about Duarte and because he's the next opponent for UCLA. No, Mick Cronin is a defensive coach. That's a guy, that's like game-recognized game. You know, like that's – I thought that was a great statement. I thought we were going to hear from Dana Altman first. We will, but let's get to Chris Duarte first. Chris Duarte has just been so good. So good. Robin says 100% All-American should be the Pac-12 Player of the Year. I think he's right there. I think it's him and Evan Mobley right now. I really think that it's him and Evan Mobley. If the Ducks had beaten USC last Monday, I think it's Duarte. Now, if Oregon still takes care of business and wins the league, maybe he could do it. Chris Duarte had some good things to say postgame.
Hey, Chris. I just wanted to know what it meant for Eugene Omoruyi to have such effectiveness on defense tonight.
Oh, no, I think Eugene was great defensively. I talked to him on the second half, before the second half. I told him, if you're not scoring, you can't just, put your head down. Bring that energy by playing defense and rebounding. And I think he did a good job. He told me he was going to do it, and he did it.
Hey, Chris, it seemed like you were able to get to your spot wherever you wanted tonight. Where do you think you've improved the most as an offensive player this season?
Well, the confidence that my coaches and my teammates give me, and I just let my game come to me. Today, I did a good job by letting the game come to me, and that's it.
Chris, what's the significance of having Will have this type of a game tonight for your team's potential, just getting Will back on track?
Well, Will's a great player. He's still, fighting through what he was going through, But I think he's a great player, and he's picking it up little by little.
Chris, obviously there's a lot on the line this week. Coach said he wants you guys to have fun and enjoy playing in big games. I would assume there's some pressure you feel too, and fatigue at this point in the season. What all emotions and feelings are you experiencing this week with the title on the line?
Well, I don't know how to express that feel that we feel. We know we got to get UCLA on Wednesday, and then we got to go and get Oregon State on Saturday. We just, very excited about that chance that we have, about winning the conference title. And we're just taking it day by day.
Chris, have you ever had a three bank off the rim 4 times? And what did you say to Sean Miller after making it? Because clearly you two said something to each other.
A lucky day. That's what I told him. Coach, the coach from Arizona, he's a great coach, and I just turned around and I told him, that's a lucky bounce.
There's a concern, Chris, about there's a number of times the last few games been fouling, not you, but 3-point shooters. Is there any drills that you do to avoid that? Stay on your feet?
Well, we don't do any drill about that, but guys, we should be smart enough, and that's lacking of, just staying positive,
Have you done anything different the past week, or even in the approach to the game? Because with as much as coach is leaning on you and Eugene and LJ in particular, and Will, you guys are all playing 30-plus minutes, and this is 4 games in 14 days, and yet you're all putting up like 20 points a game in the last 3 games since that loss to USC. Have you taken things differently since that loss?
Well, more rest, more treatment, and I keep doing what I always do, keep going through my routine day by day. And I think I'm just doing more treatment and rest.
Is all these games and back to, every other day, is it as big of a strain as people think it is, or are you guys feeling fresh and ready to go?
We just see it, that prepare us for the next level, the next steps. So wherever we go, it's going to be like that. It's going to be game after game. So, we're just enjoying it right now.
Chris, UCLA's coach said you're the best defensive guard in the country. How do you, and you've made big jumps, obviously, to those of us who see you every day. How have you changed your game defensively?
Well, I think, I remember last year against Arizona State, I had a bad game defensively. Remy Martin was going by me quick and easy. So after that game, I picked my head up and I watched film, and my coaches got on me. And, I did the right thing, I started playing defense.
That's just a lot of great stuff in that conversation with Chris Duarte. I've never seen a 3 bounce 4 times off the rim. Twice in 1 season. He did it earlier this year, too. He's done it twice now. I don't get how he does this. Friendly bounces, doink, 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 down. Seriously, being there in person, it was hilarious watching him smiling, turning to Sean Miller, and Sean Miller's just going man, what what do I got to do? Like, oh, it was priceless. It was priceless. He is absolutely playing like an All-American and potentially a Pac-12 Player of the Year. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about this game and get ready for UCLA. Dana Altman with a couple comments. We've got that for you next. Duck Insider, talking hoops on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Long ago, you wouldn't think of galloping on a horse while doing calligraphy, and you wouldn't have attempted to ride your bike while typing a letter. Yet you think you can safely operate a multi-ton vehicle while texting? Behind the wheel is no place to multitask. If you want to BRB, drive now and text later. Lives depend on it.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, a message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, Noise, and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Our friends at North Fork Public House, man, I can't wait for picks next year. They always bring you our picks that Jerry and Jorgie and I do every year, which, by the way, in the most 2020 fashion, we tied for picks. We literally had a 3-way tie for picks. It's never happened before. Like, it was terrible. Like, we're going to need to blow that up. Maybe we'll do, like, basketball postseason bracket picks to do it. Thanks to our friends at North Fork Public House. You ever need some takeout? North Fork Public House got a pretty good menu. Pretty good. Oregon leading by 11 at the final buzzer. Ducks won by 11 over Arizona, which sets up a huge meeting tomorrow. Oregon and UCLA. The Bruins are at 13-4. The Ducks are at 12-4. If Oregon wins tomorrow and then wins against the Beavers, the Ducks are Pac-12 champions for the 4th time in the last 6 years. Dana Altman pretty happy with the Ducks' performance against Arizona. A lot of good things to take away from that one. And now a quick turnaround heading into this matchup with UCLA. Chris Duarte was outstanding. Another 20-point performance. Eugene Omarui was outstanding. Another 20-point performance. And LJ Figueroa, when he wasn't on the floor, that was when Arizona made a push. We talked with Coach Altman about that and more post-game. 7 straight against Arizona, I think really impressive with the kinds of battles you guys have had. Your recap of what was a good win for your squad tonight.
I'm really proud of the guys. They really found some energy. I thought, hitting shots helps us, but, I just thought our energy level was good all night. We made plays for each other. Turnovers were low, only had 7. Out-rebounded them again. Just a lot of good things. I thought, we played really hard, and one of our better efforts this year, no doubt.
How about LJ Figueroa, Coach? It seemed like when he was out there, just really made a difference. And then when he got in a little foul trouble, those were the moments where Arizona pushed back a little bit.
No, he's become, just a big key to our defense, and, he rebounds well. He's got good size for a guard. So, No, I agree. We're not quite as good when he's off the floor. I like, our rotation. Got to get a few more guys in. I wanted to give Amari some minutes. They went zone when we got him in there, and Big Frank gave us a few good minutes. So we played 8 guys, but we got to get those guys a little bit more, and we got to get Jalen. So UCLA will throw 8, 9, 10 guys against us. We're going to have to maybe go a little deeper.
The quick turnaround, Coach. What's the plan for practice tomorrow, and a scouting report on the Bruins real quick?
There will be no practice. We'll just get together and get loose, walk through some things. I made contact with a few NBA people, talked about the, 7 games in 14 days. How would you handle it? We're not used to it at this level. And, they just said, get guys loose and get them out of there. They got to have energy at game time. And so we didn't do anything yesterday. We had a very short shoot around this afternoon, and I thought our energy level was good. So we'll try the same thing for Wednesday night. A little different because we were familiar with what Arizona did. And so, we just played them a couple weeks ago. So guys really felt they knew them, and now we only played UCLA once last year, and now we're only playing them once this year. So we're not nearly as familiar with them. So tomorrow will be a little bit more film work and hopefully a little bit more on walkthrough so that we're ready.
Dana, to lean on your starters as much as you have. I mean, you talked about trying to get more guys in, but to do it as much as you have and get the results, especially from Eugene and Chris, each going for 20 plus. It's back-to-back games basically for both of them. I know Chris had 18 the other night. What do you say about your 2 leading guys right now, where this is the stretch you're going through and they're performing at as high a level as you could possibly ask for?
James, unbelievable. Those were great performances coming off, playing 35, 38 minutes the other day. Their focus was great. They delivered. Eugene got a little sped up, on some shots inside, but man, his toughness, and I thought they did a great job, James. I mean, I'm pleased with everybody. I thought we played good. I loved our energy. We got to get a little bit better ball movement. Again, we're going to have to get on those boards against UCLA. They're a big physical team. But I thought our starting 5 and Chandler, and then I like the defensive minutes Amari gave us, and Frank gave us some good defensive minutes. So again, just a good effort by the 8 guys. And another thing, our energy level from our bench has been as good as it's been all year. And Arizona's down there. They're playing their last game. It's kind of a, bowl game for them, whatever you want to call it. They're having fun. And they got our guys going. So, they took that 6-point lead in the first half, and, our energy went way up and went on a 13-3 run to end the half, which I thought was the turning point of the game. I think it was 33-27. And I think we went on a 13-3 run to end the half. And I thought that was the turning point. I just thought, they gave us their best shot. We kind of responded. And, I just thought from there we were in pretty good shape.
Yeah, Danny, you've talked a couple times now about how much you like the energy that the team brought. Do you think they're really embracing the moment of this week and what this week means each game?
I sure hope so. It's about having fun, and, because of no crowds and not much fun on road trips and that, some of that's been taken away. So I sure hope they do, Chris. I want them to have a great time this week and just play hard, swing away, see what happens. We know we got 2 really tough ball games. UCLA's playing well, and then we got to go to Oregon State, and they're playing well. And so we got 2 really tough ball games. I just want them to have fun, embrace it, play as hard as they can. Everybody stay ready, see what happens. But, it's just great to be in this position, through the 2 pauses and, a couple bad losses at home. For them to be resilient and fight back like they have. And, a poor performance at USC. They didn't get down. They came back and did a tremendous job. So I want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy this week. We know we got 2 tough ball games, but just got to get ready for Wednesday night at 6 o'clock and try to have as much energy as we can and play a very good UCLA team.
A very good UCLA team. The conference leading UCLA Bruins right now. They will be in town for a 6 o'clock tip-off on Wednesday. 5:30 pregame show here on the Oregon Sports Network. That's a huge game. I can't say it any other way. It's just a huge, huge game for Oregon men's basketball. Meanwhile, for Oregon women's basketball yesterday, Tahina Paopao and Yara Sabali were both named to the 15-player All-Pac-12 team Monday afternoon. Happened after we got off the air yesterday afternoon. Paopao also earned a spot on the 5-player conference all-freshman squad. So congratulations to Tahina Paopao and Yara Sabali. Senior Amboli named honorable mention all-conference for the Ducks. And women's golf, they are in action again today. They had a 3-stroke lead through 1 round yesterday, and they're in action again today, and they've been killing it so far. Derek Radley's squad, don't look now. They're legit. Yeah, they're really, really good. Coming up next, how about a victory over the #1 team in the country? Melyssa Lombardi, head coach Oregon softball, is going to join us after 3 games against 3 Pac-12 opponents that don't count in Pac-12 standings, just the way it works out this year. And also, the home opener is on Friday for Oregon softball. We talk with the head coach, Melyssa Lombardi, next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hi, you've reached Toyota. This is Jan.
Can I save on a new Toyota?
Yes, with great deals through March 31st at participating dealers.
I'm really into mystery podcasts lately for those long drives.
Well, imagine yourself in a Camry when a celebrity sleuth solves the perfect crime. Or camping in a RAV4 when a shocking theft turns a city on its head. Or off-roading in a Tacoma when trouble follows a big city cop to the country. Spoiler alert, it was the butler.
Toyota, let's go places.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go, Fish Dad!
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joy Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Joining us on the University of Oregon Alumni Association guest line is softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi. Kind enough to join us every Tuesday. Coach, you're up to number 6 in the poll after a weekend that I got to say, I mean, my blood pressure was high after a few games this weekend. How's your blood pressure after 3 matchups with Pac-12 teams?
It was good. It was awesome to go into the weekend and to compete against 2 top teams. I mean, the number 1 team in the nation, and also with Utah. So
let's start with the win over UCLA. That was really where my blood pressure was high. How good was Brooke? I thought she pitched like the Pac-12 pitcher of the week.
I thought so too. One thing I think that was really important for her was just to get into the game and settle in and really figure out quickly where she wanted to start like the break of her pitches. And I think once she figured that out quickly, it really allowed her to settle in and trust her stuff and to trust her defense as well. I thought our defense was tremendous that game.
What's the next step for Brooke? I mean, it seems like she's just firing on all cylinders, but I know coaches and the best student athletes are always going to want to take that next step.
Sure. I think it's just her continuing to elevate. I think she has such a high ceiling, and I think it's just for her and the rest of our pitching staff to really get to see what they can do with their pitches and how good can they really be.
What'd you make of the rest of your staff over this past weekend against this level of competition?
Very good. One thing that I love about our staff is they give us an opportunity to win every ball game. And that's the main thing that we ask of them is give us a chance to win. I think even in our game yesterday, we had some blunders. We didn't play the way we needed to, but we still, in the middle of the game, were right in the middle of it and had an opportunity to win, even though we made too many mistakes yesterday, but we still had opportunity to win. So I love that about our staff. And I'll tell you, yesterday, McKenna was my highlight. I thought she came in relief and pitched great.
So you split with UCLA. Coming into the weekend, they were ranked number 1 with a game against Utah in the middle that you guys also win, which I got to say, it just makes me really excited for the 3-game Pac-12 series that then we'll have a 4th game against UCLA. I mean, that's already circled on my calendar. We'll talk about that later, but I'm just saying to fans, circle those calendars now, okay? How good has Alyssa Burrito been, especially this past weekend? A home run in 4 straight games.
Good. She's really confident with what she's doing at the plate and on defense. I think early in the year, she was almost limiting herself a little bit, maybe not trusting everything completely. She's a freshman, and has gotten thrown into the fire. And I think she's really starting to figure things out, slow the game down. She's made some unbelievable plays on defense. She came up clutch for us in that UCLA with that big home run. So I just love what she's doing. She's playing like an elder, and I really like that.
When do you know as a coach that a young player has sort of had that click moment and the game has slowed down? Is there something that you watch for?
You could just see, I think early in the year, she was a little indecisive with what she was doing. She's very decisive. Very decisive. You talk the conversations that we have with her now, she's very particular, sees things a lot more clear. I think she was just still trying to get to that point early on.
How key is body language when you're reading stuff like that throughout a season?
Yeah, body language is huge. It's huge. I mean, that's such a big communication piece for player to player, player to coach. If you've got solid body language and things aren't going our way, I'm confident that we're going to figure it out. But if your body language isn't good, it's going to be a tough day. It's all about at being strong with your body language and showing confidence, even at times when maybe you're not quite sure.
How good has Shea Bowden been? It was cool to see her go yard too.
I've really enjoyed watching Shea at the plate. She's another one that has been very decisive, has a really good plan at the plate. I love her leadership on defense right now at first base. She's really vocal. She's in a really good place as well. And I think I would say the same thing. It took her a little bit to figure out maybe how she wanted to go with a couple things, but she's got it figured out, and she's pretty cool, calm, collective.
We saw some power from Rachel Sid as well. She got her first long ball this weekend.
Yes, good to see that from her. Every time Rachel comes to the plate, she gives us an opportunity to take one deep, and we'll take it, but just loving how she's having good quality at bats. She's getting pitches that she wants to hit, and she's hitting them hard. And just Rachel's clutch. We talk a lot about being clutch and cashing in, especially with runners at second and third. And you can see Rachel starting to come into her own as well.
Another individual I was curious about is Maya Felder. A few multi-hit games for her. Mm-hmm. Seems like she's kind of found that stride.
I agree. We dropped her down. We dropped her to the 7th spot. And it's interesting. We get our statistics, and you get to see where they're at in different spots of the lineup and where their success is. And she's had really good success in the 7. She's getting pitches, really good pitches to hit, and she's hitting them hard. And Maya just quietly goes about her business. it's not that you forget how well she did, but she's just so quiet about the way she goes about it. But I love it. Having her down in the lineup and just the punch, the punch that she packs in the bottom of the lineup, I think is really nice for us.
A 450 average in the 7 spot is something that an opposing pitcher never wants to see, right?
Yeah, no, not at all. And so maybe with that, we push her up again. I don't know. It's just right now, this is where we have all of these different games to figure out, where is it? Is it keeping her there? Is it maybe getting her back up to, higher? I think those are some things we'll find out this next month at home.
How about Allie Bunker with 13 RBI, too? Seems like she's got that clutch gene.
Yeah, she's very clever. Very cool at the plate as well. There was a point in the game against Utah where they walked Rachel Sid to get to Allie Bunker, and I was just kind of surprised. I mean, I think on the top there, it's tough to walk one to get to the next in any of those variations, but I was kind of surprised by that. And Bunk just came up and did her thing and hit a gap. So it was pretty cool to see.
So you're sitting at 9-1 as we're joined by Oregon softball head coach Melyssa Lombardi, and it all starts now at Jane Sanders Stadium on March 5th. That's Friday, 2:30, which, first of all, selfishly, thanks for the 2:30 start time. It's right after Duck Insider ends. I mean, it's just like, it's perfect. So thank you. This is great. It's going to be on the Oregon live stream, and then you guys will also play Boise State. So a couple matchups with Portland State and Boise State. How good is it going to feel to get back at the Jane?
It's going to feel great. Yesterday when we got home and we were sitting in the airport, I told every one of them, I said, put your suitcase away. Yeah. Like, unpack it, put it away. Don't leave it on the side. Like, put it away, and let's enjoy this month of being at home. So we're all really looking forward to it.
When you said the next month at home, it really reminded me that it's from March 5th until March 27th. You guys are completely at Jane Sanders Stadium. So that worked out nicely, didn't it?
It did. It really did. We love playing at the Jane. We love it. We love it. It's going to feel a little different not having fans, but still just to be at home and to know how our field plays and, to sleep in our own beds and have our typical routine. I think it's going to be really good. Also, too, I think these guys have been really good with our bubble, our COVID bubble on the. So I'm excited to get home and just continue to secure that.
What's the next step this weekend? What do you want to see out of your squad?
I think what I would tell you I'd like to see from them is just consistency. I think they got a taste of how good they could be this weekend when all cylinders are firing. And to me, I want to see, is that something, what type of consistency can we get from that?
Man, I'm excited to be back at Jane Sanders Stadium. 2:30 coming up on Friday. The Ducks will face Portland State. Fans, you can tune in on the Oregon live stream. We've also got then Boise State Friday evening, and then on Saturday, Portland State at 4, Boise State Sunday at 11. That's the Oregon softball schedule. Melyssa Lombardi, always kind enough to take some time to join us. So, Coach, good to have you back. Glad that you're going to be back at home for a while. Enjoy keeping that suitcase stowed away. Maybe it's just going to end up in the garage, in the shed somewhere for a while. I get it. I do the same thing. That suitcase goes up in the attic once we get to summertime. I understand where you're coming from on that one.
Definitely. We're excited to be home.
Melyssa Lombardi, thanks for the time. And, hey, best of luck, and we'll catch up with you again next week.
Sounds great.
All right, we're going to get a quick timeout. When we come back, that Oregon football schedule is here for Pac-12 play, and season tickets are on sale. More details coming up. Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through. Like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. Now you're queen of your castle. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll feel empowered to own your retirement like you own your home. Go to aceyourretirement.org. Because when it comes to clearing financial hurdles, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. And calling all cookie lovers, Crumble Cookies has a rotating menu of over 120 flavors that change out weekly. Come see Crumble Cookies in Eugene off Coburg Road. Every Tuesday. We've had a lot of fun doing this thanks to our friends at the Josh Cooley Realty team. When the game is on the line, you want a proven winning team on your side, and the Josh Cooley Real Estate team thanks you for your support and referrals of friends and family, the official real estate team of the Oregon Ducks. Josh Cooley Real Estate team, we thought, hey, home field advantage. Ducks have a home field advantage with their facilities, and today, the John E. Jaquwa Center for Student Athletes, the Learning Center at the University of Oregon. Of course, its architecture is pretty striking. It was the first in now a few different iterations of, a very window-heavy design at the University of Oregon. It is a truly amazing facility. Opened in 2010, named for the late University of Oregon alumnus and founding board member of Nike, John E. Jaquwa. Center contains over 4,000 square feet of space, including a 114-seat auditorium, 54 computer stations, 35 tutor rooms, 25 faculty offices, computer laboratory, graphics laboratory, 3D teaching laboratories, a library, and also a cafe. And there are also, of course, academic All-Americans and many other names throughout the center that honor the academic achievements of various Ducks. Justin Herbert, I will never forget when his name was written onto the floor at the Jaquwa Center. Truly an amazing accomplishment. And the Ducks honoring the academic side of things, of course, over on campus right near Matthew Knight Arena. Shout out to Steve Stolp and his entire staff of academic advisors helping the Ducks in the classroom. Awesome stuff. Josh Cooley Real Estate Team bringing you our facility focus each week. Thanks to Josh Cooley Real Estate Team for their support. And thanks to you all for the support. Tickets are on sale for football season. That's right. We've got a conference schedule. It's on GoDucks.com. See you tomorrow.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community.